Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to make some paper earrings. I hope you'll stay tuned. The nice people at InLoveArts sent me these dies that make earrings, and they're so much fun. I've been having a great time playing with them today. InLoveArts are going to give you a 20% off discount with the code G36627. I'll have Rich write it right here so you have it. But that's nice too, so that you'll be able to share in the bounty. I cut out all of these, the squares. We'll call them the squares, and I think these are called octagonal. I'll put the links to these below. I always have trouble. Polygon is what they call them. Six-sided, I don't know. Anyway, you have to, when you cut these out, to make these earrings look good, you really need to make them double-sided. And by that I mean you have to cut out 4 of each of the design. So I cut out 4 of these, and I backed it with this paper so that when you looked at it from the back, it still was cute. So we're doing the same with these, only this time I used some black cardstock and some silver cardstock, but I didn't want to just go with that because, you know, black is fun, but it's not as fun as it's going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking Distress Embossing Ink. This is just like Versamark ink, VersaFine ink. So I'm just dipping this into the ink until it's wet. It doesn't have to be soaking wet. It just has to. You just have to be able to see the ink on it. And you're going to take. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some clear embossing powder. I want this to be really shiny. I tried using very shiny Mod Podge. It was like the super shiny, and boy, was that a mess. I don't recommend playing that game. I'm just going to cover these with clear embossing powder. It doesn't matter if it's got a few gobs that are, you know, they're more covered than others. We're going to do this a few times. Let me just put it off to the side. The most important part about this is making sure that your heat gun is super hot. So I'm just going to get it ready. And I want to pin this down to my surface. See, I already touched the edges. That's why it's important for me to do it more than once with the embossing powder. I'm just going to heat it until it turns shiny, and then I'm going to move on. Okay, I'm going to go to the other one. Same thing. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. When if you're gonna add more embossing powder to it. The one way you can do it is while it's still super hot, you can just add more powder to it and it'll stick. I never am that fast. So what I do instead is I just take my ink again, just covering it again. Just want to make sure that it picks up the powder. I might do this 3 times. It depends on how shiny it is this time. I don't want to get any on the back, any of the powder or the ink on the back. Turning it back on. So that's it for embossing powder. Done with that. You're going to want to use a glue that will adhere quickly and that you don't need to use a lot of, because when you do this, if it comes out from behind and gets onto the other, the front, it's just kind of problematic in my opinion. If you got embossing ink on the back and it heat set, it might not be a problem, but you want to make sure you use a good glue that's going to hold on embossing ink, embossing powder, so that this earring doesn't fall apart. I'm using Barely Art glue, It's my glue of choice for projects like this. And I really want to make sure that if I did get glue on the mirror cardstock, I'm going to wipe that off as quickly as possible because I don't want fingerprints or, you know, just marks to be stuck there. You can see what I'm talking about? I got my fingerprints on that. What you want to do is just wet that. I just wet my finger. And then you want to wipe it with a towel or whatever you keep on hand at your craft table. I think you know I use baby bibs that I get from thrift stores and garage sales, and those work really great for me to just have at my craft, you know, like I hang them from my chair, and then they're really convenient and I don't have to worry about throwing them out like you do with baby wipes. I have a bunch of O-rings here. I wasn't sure what size I need, so I have a couple sizes. And I have my tools. You can buy sets of tools or you can buy one plier, but I've found for me that I usually need two pairs of pliers when I do things because I'm just not that coordinated with not having one. I'm going to use these little black beads, hopefully. Yep, that stays. And then I thought it would hold, the black beads would hold the silver bead on there because it has kind of a bigger hole. I have glue all over my hands. I am so attractive. The prettiest girl in the world. Then I have another pin that's kind of wonky. We're still going to use it because I don't think we're going to need enough of the pin. The part that's weird is going to be in the picture. Now, I'm not the world's best at making these loops, but here's how I do it. I go about maybe, hold on, I'm going to say 1/8 of an inch from the first bead, and I'm going to make a loop. And then once I get it wrapped around like that, then I'm going to turn my pliers so that I can turn the wire in a different direction, and then I pull it as tight as I can. This is the part that's tricky for me because I'm not that strong, and trying to make these wraps, even though I use kind of a thinner silver wire, it's still kind of problematic for me. Okay, then you want to cut off your excess, and I think I got my cutting tools at the blue one. I think I got it at Walmart. I might be lying, but I think I did. And these, I got a whole set at a flea market many years ago. Rich and I bought them because we thought whenever we'd break jewelry, and we thought it would be handy for when we break jewelry to be able to fix it. And it was really handy, and now I have something to help me make jewelry with. I don't make jewelry that often, but when I do, I just like to be able to have the right tools. When you open these, you need to just pull. Hold on, let's see if I can do it so you can see it. You don't want to spring it open. You want to pull it up apart like that. So I'm going to put 2 of these. All right, well, I might as well close this one. And just close it back on itself. Again, you don't want to spring it. I guess I'm going to have to put another loop there. I'll leave this one open. And I'll get another one. Wait, I'll show you some of these. Okay. Can you see that one? This is how they came. They're already kind of not circular. They already are overlapping each other, and that's not how they're supposed to be. They're supposed to just, the two sides of the circle are supposed to just meet, and they're not supposed to overlap like this. So I already have to kind of fix these which kind of stinks. I don't remember where I got them, but I wasn't really happy with them because they should just be, they should just meet and not overlap each other, the ends of the circle. That makes sense. Hopefully it did. What was I going to do with this? Oh, I was going to put it, I'm losing my mind. I'm going to put one ring on our black that's backed in silver. Okay, so now I've got my, hopefully you'll be able to see me do this. We're trying to just make the two edges of the circle meet. Hopefully that's pretty good. And then I'm going to turn it a little bit so that the opening isn't at the top. And then I'm going to add another ring to that so that our square is able to move a little bit. This is where I was explaining how I need 2 pairs of pliers. Most people I think can do this kind of stuff with 1 plier, but that's not my system. I have to have 2 pair. Okay. So now I'm going to get another loop. Going with that one. I'll figure out how many loops I put on here in the end. Several. Looks like 4. All right. So there's my earrings. I'll put all my pairs down here. I hope this gave you some ideas of how you could use dies, or if you wanted to, you could use templates that you can find on the internet, or you could use some just shape dies of your own, or you could just cut 1" by 1" squares and make earrings that way. The most important part that I've found in this is you definitely need to back your earrings, because otherwise they're just not, heavy enough, they're not strong enough, and you can see it looks weird from the back. So hope you enjoyed this and that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.